Hi everyone. Okay, we're back here and it looks like this heart salve is about done. As I'm stirring it, I could tell because it's really settled to the bottom, the solids, and I'm going to kind of leave them there. The solids being the powdered herbs have settled to the bottom. And it's been on the heat for 2.5 hours, which is plenty for the amount that I'm making up here. So the next thing I need to do to get ready, I've got my cheesecloth here. This is going to be used to strain this product. I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to just use a stainless steel pot here to strain it into. Because it will be, actually, you know what? I'm going to grab a bowl. Because it will actually be returned to the stovetop after it's strained in order to melt the beeswax into it to make it a more solid product. Now, I'm cutting this cheesecloth and I'm going to put it over a strainer, just like an easy mesh handled strainer. And usually I have to strain once, maybe twice. You want to get out as much of the solids as possible. It's not a big deal if there's a little bit of sediment in a salve, but too much and then you have like a weird consistency thing going on, and everybody likes a nice smooth salve or balm when they apply it. Okay, so, yep. My strainer, I'm going to use this little one, very little strainer. I have bigger size ones, but I think this should do. Let me see if I have the second size up here. No, we'll go with this one and see. I typically go, like I said, a little bit larger with the strainer, just so that I don't have overflow, but okay. The heat is now off, and I'm going to slowly transfer the salve from the stove and just pour it through the mesh strainer with the cheesecloth on top, really nice and slowly. It's a nice rich brown color because of the herbs. So coconut oil, you know, will just be like a milky white, but now it's got this nice rich chocolatey brown color because of the herbs. Just slow it down a little bit, and it is separating rather nicely. And as I get closer to the bottom, I'll show you. Sometimes I don't even bother doing too much of the very bottom because we have sludge left. I'll show you what that looks like over the sink here. I want to get as much as I can to strain out of there. But like I said, I never push it through with my hands when I get to the bottom of this. I don't want to have the extra sediment, like I said, so you are going to lose a little bit of oil in the process of straining, and that's normal. So, okay. So, let's see if I can get you to see what this sludge looks like, which is herbal sludge. See, it's almost like a pudding texture that's left over. And all of that had settled to the bottom at this point. And it makes it so much easier to strain once it's done that. So after a couple hours on the stove, I just kind of turn the heat off, let it completely settle, and then strain it through the cheesecloth and strainer. I'm just going to set this to the side for right now. And what I'm going to do next, like I said, I'm going to take this bowl, what I have, I would say maybe 16 ounces I got out of it, maybe 2 cups. And I'm going to go over to the stove here. and I'm going to pour it into this stainless steel pot as best I can. I'm going to get as much of that as possible. Now I'm going to turn this on. Low, real low though, real low. We don't need all that flame. Really low. And then I'm going to take some shea butter. I'm going to add some shea butter. Just has a really nice consistency and texture. Makes a really good addition to balms. So we're going to have a coconut oil / shea butter based formula here. And I'll go over more of the exact proportions at the end of this too, but just so you can get a hang of the process. Shea butter doesn't want to come off of there. Okay, so it's not quite equal amounts of shea butter. I would say as far as the ratio is probably 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 for coconut oil to shea butter. But that is not the only thing we'll be adding. Also getting my beeswax pellets, and this is the best way to go as far as the beeswax. I've done it from the big block before and just had to cut off chunks, nearly impaling myself with a butter knife. It's a pretty dangerous endeavor. I don't recommend it. If you get these little pellets, they dissolve so quickly, so easily. It's a much quicker and safer process. I purchased mine from Mountain Rose Herbs, great company. I also purchase a lot of my herbs from them. The shea butters from them as well. So I'm going to start out and just going to eyeball. I've been doing this for a while, so I can kind of eyeball. I want a few tablespoons, I know at least. And the beeswax part, I'll tell you, is really tricky because you have to test to see. And depending on all the components of your formula, it's really going to vary how much beeswax you need. And it's also going to vary based on how hard you want your Savor Balm to be. So for Heart Balm, I like it to be a medium consistency, I would say. I don't want to be able to press your finger fully into the formula and just mush, but I don't want to have to be trying real hard to get some out either. So about a medium to hard consistency, because you really only need a tiny bit also in application. So right now I'm melting that shea butter. I'll let you guys kind of see if I can get the camera up to there. I'm melting that shea butter and the beeswax pellets. And you see that's increasing the volume a little bit too for how much this is going to yield. I don't make salves and balms very often. I would say every couple months. And I like to make in small batches unless I know guaranteed I'm going to have a lot going out right away. Because I like things to be really fresh. You know, I don't want this stuff sitting on the shelf for several months. So yours can sit on the shelf for several months when you get it. But creating it, I don't want a bunch of formula sitting on the shelf. I like to keep it really fresh for you. Okay, so that's slowly melting, and we don't want to get impatient and go and turn up the heat just to get this melting more. We don't want to do that because then you could compromise, again, the integrity of the herbs. It's a delicate formula. Once this is melted, what I'm going to do is, right here we have some geranium oil, essential oil, and I have to wait until this is not only melted, but I turn off the heat and let it completely cool. I shouldn't say completely cool. If it completely cools, it's going to harden. But I let it cool for, 5 or 10 minutes. And then I add essential oil. And it's going to be an approximation again. I want it to have a nice rich scent though. The geranium oil is such an excellent, joyful, uplifting essential oil. If you have that or rosewood, rose essential oil is very, very pricey. Rosewood will do in a pinch though. That would be a good addition as well. Other than that, those are just the two, rose geranium, rosewood, that I would stick with for a heart balm. But I'm in this traditional formula that I make and sell, I do the geranium for the essential oil. So this is still busy melting here. Let me grab my spoon. I mean, I could maybe turn the heat up a little bit, but I kind of just want to be patient. And then you'll see the way that you test it once the beeswax is melted is to take a little bit up with the spoon, kind of set it somewhere away from the heat, let it solidify, and then test to see, is this the consistency, is this the texture I'm going for? And more likely than not, it'll either beat it, or you'll say, I need to add more beeswax, it's not hard enough. So always better on the conservative side with beeswax, couple tablespoons at a time, add more until you're where you want to be. That's what I have to say about that. So this is melting and it's already smelling amazing. The beeswax pellets smell really nice too. Just have like a great natural sweetness along with the shea butter, the coconut oil. It's a really, really nice, pleasant combination. So like I said, after this, I'll just be removing it from the heat, adding some essential oil, pouring it, and then we'll have our finished product. Thanks for watching.